All right, so you know how sometimes you hear a word and you're like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that from like way back, like from school.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of how I feel about mitochondria.
Okay.
Like I know they're important, but I need a little refresher, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So for everyone else out there who maybe feels the same way, we're doing a deep dive today on mitochondrial health, boosting energy and longevity.
Nice.
Yeah, so get ready to like upgrade your knowledge about these tiny little powerhouses.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll make it fun.
So like, first things first, remind me, what do mitochondria actually do?
Okay, so mitochondria are often called the powerhouses of the cell.
Right, right.
And that's because they're responsible for producing something called ATP.
ATP.
Which is basically the energy currency of our cells.
Gotcha.
So every process in your body needs ATP.
Okay.
From like thinking and breathing to moving your muscles.
So basically without healthy mitochondria, we'd be like...
Pretty much, yeah. You wouldn't have the energy to do anything.
Wow, so they're kind of a big deal.
Huge, yeah.
So then how does everything start to go wrong?
Okay.
Like I've heard that mitochondrial function declines as we age.
Right.
What does that look like?
Yeah, so it's true that as we get older, our cells, including our mitochondria, experience some wear and tear, but there are definitely things that can speed up that decline.
Okay. Like what?
Well, lifestyle factors play a big role.
Okay.
And the source we're looking at today actually outlines some common signs.
Oh, this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are those red flags we should look out for?
So one of the most obvious signs is persistent fatigue.
Okay.
Even after you've had a good night's sleep.
Right.
Like if you're constantly feeling drained and sluggish, it could be a sign that your mitochondria aren't producing enough ATP.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And that means your body's not getting the energy it needs.
And I feel like so many of us experience that. Like just...
Oh, yeah. In today's world, it's so common.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so easy to feel run down.
Exactly.
Okay, so fatigue. What else?
You might also notice decreased endurance or muscle weakness. Like maybe you get winded more easily during exercise.
Okay.
Or you're struggling to lift things that used to feel easy.
Gotcha. So like our cells just aren't getting the energy they need.
Exactly.
Okay, so if we're starting to notice some of these signs, what can we do about it?
Well, the good news is that we actually have quite a bit of control over our mitochondrial health.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
I think one of the most powerful tools we have is our diet.
Oh, interesting.
What we eat can really have a big impact on how well our mitochondria function.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Right.
So what should we be putting on our plates?
Well, you can think about it like this.
All right.
Mitochondria need the right fuel to function optimally.
Okay.
And that fuel comes from the nutrients we consume.
Makes sense.
So a diet that supports mitochondrial health should be rich in a few key components.
Right, break it down for me.
Okay, so first up, we have healthy fats.
Okay.
They're essential for building and maintaining strong mitochondrial membranes.
Okay, and those membranes are important because...
Well, they regulate what goes in and out of the mitochondria, which affects their ability to produce energy.
Gotcha. So when we talk about healthy fats, what are some good examples?
Avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil,
Okay.
fatty fish like salmon.
All right, so that avocado toast is a good idea after all.
It is in moderation, of course.
Oh, of course.
Everything in moderation.
What's next?
All right, so next up we have protein. Protein provides the building blocks for enzymes and other proteins that are involved in various mitochondrial processes.
So like things like lean meats, poultry, fish, beans, lentils.
Exactly, all those good sources of protein.
Okay, perfect. And then
we have complex carbohydrates.
Carb.
I know they get a bad rap sometimes, but the good kind of carbs from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, those are essential for providing the fuel that mitochondria need.
Gotcha. So it's all about that balance.
Yes, exactly. Balance is key.
Okay, so healthy fats, protein, complex carbs.
Yep.
But are there any like specific nutrients that are like extra good for mitochondria?
There are a few key players that deserve a shout out.
Okay, tell me more.
So the source we're looking at mentions a handful of nutrients that are really important for supporting mitochondrial function.
Awesome. I'm ready.
Okay, so one that's been getting a lot of attention is CoQ10.
CoQ10.
Yeah, it's a powerful antioxidant that's involved in the electron transport chain,
Which is
the process within mitochondria that generates ATP.
Gotcha. So basically CoQ10 helps with energy production.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm liking this.
Another important one is alpha lipoic acid, or ALA.
ALA.
Yep, it's another potent antioxidant, and it actually works synergistically with CoQ10 to support energy metabolism.
Oh, cool. So it's like they're a team.
Yeah, they're a dynamic duo.
Well, I love that.
Working together to keep those mitochondria humming.
All right, what else?
We also have magnesium, which is a crucial mineral for ATP production. And then the B vitamins, which are a whole group of nutrients that keep those energy pathways running smoothly.
B vitamins, got it. Okay, so we've got healthy fats, protein complex carbs, CoQ10, ALA, magnesium, B vitamins.
It's a lot to remember.
It is, but it sounds like a really solid foundation for supporting our mitochondria.
It is, for sure.
But I'm curious, are there other things besides diet that can help?
Definitely, there are a number of lifestyle factors that can have a big impact on mitochondrial health.
Okay. This is what I love to hear.
Yeah, we'll dive into those next.
Awesome. Bring on those lifestyle hacks.
All right, let's do it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
This is good stuff.
It is.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we've got diet down.
Okay.
But you mentioned some lifestyle hacks.
Right.
What are some other things we can do for our mitochondria?
Okay, well, one thing that's been getting a lot of attention lately is intermittent fasting.
Oh, yeah.
Or caloric restriction.
I've heard about that. But how does it actually help our mitochondria?
It's like giving your cells a break from constantly having to digest food.
Okay.
So they can focus on other important processes like repair and renewal.
Gotcha.
So when you fast, your cells actually trigger something called autophagy.
Autophagy, that sounds intense.
It is pretty cool, actually. It's basically your cell's built-in recycling system.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a way for your cells to break down and remove any damaged components, including those within our mitochondria.
Interesting.
And then it makes way for new, healthier ones.
So it's like a cleanup crew for our cells.
Yeah, exactly. Like a targeted cleanup crew.
Okay. I'm starting to see why people are into intermittent fasting.
Yeah, and it's not just about weight loss.
Oh,
it's really about promoting cellular health and resilience.
I like that.
Like at a fundamental level.
Okay, so intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
What about exercise?
Oh, exercise is huge for mitochondria.
Okay.
It's like a superhero
Okay.
for those little guys.
Right?
And different types of exercise can benefit them in different ways.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about some types of exercise that are good for mitochondria.
Okay, well, one that's really effective is high-intensity interval training, or HIIT.
HIIT. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty intense.
It can be, yeah. But it basically involves short bursts of really intense exercise,
Okay.
followed by brief recovery periods.
Okay, and how does that help the mitochondria?
So HIIT forces your mitochondria to adapt to these rapid changes in energy demand.
Okay.
It's like putting them through boot camp,
Okay.
making them more efficient at producing ATP.
So it's not just good for our workouts, it's good for our cells.
Exactly. It has these ripple effects on your metabolism and your overall health.
I love that. So we're training our mitochondria to be more resilient.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so intermittent fasting, HIIT. Those are two good ones.
Right.
Any other lifestyle tips we should know about?
Yeah, don't forget about sleep.
Sleep.
It might seem passive, but when you're sleeping, your body is hard at work,
Okay.
repairing and rejuvenating, and that includes your mitochondria.
Okay, so how exactly does sleep help our mitochondria?
So during sleep, your body goes into repair mode.
Okay.
It's like a nightly maintenance crew comes in and fixes any damage
Oh, cool.
that's occurred throughout the day.
Gotcha.
And this process is super important for mitochondrial health
Okay.
because it allows them to recover from the stresses of energy production.
So it's like recharging our batteries,
Exactly.
but for ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm definitely going to try to get more sleep.
Yeah, it's so important.
Okay, what else?
We can't forget about stress management
Okay.
and minimizing exposure to toxins.
Right, because stress and toxins aren't exactly good for us.
Yeah, definitely not.
But how do they specifically affect our mitochondria?
Well, chronic stress can lead to an overproduction of cortisol,
Cortisol.
which is a hormone that can actually disrupt mitochondrial function. And exposure to toxins, whether it's from like environmental pollutants or unhealthy foods,
Right.
can damage mitochondrial membranes and impair their ability to produce energy.
So it's about being mindful of both our internal and external environments.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
It's empowering to realize we have some control over those things.
Okay, so stress management, limiting toxins.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Have you heard of cold and heat therapy?
Oh, yeah, they've been getting a lot of buzz lately.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure how they tie into mitochondrial health.
So it turns out that exposing your body to extreme temperatures,
Okay.
both cold and hot, can actually stimulate mitochondrial function.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that work?
So things like ice baths, cold showers, cryotherapy,
Okay.
those can trigger mitochondrial biogenesis.
Which means?
It means the creation of new mitochondria.
Oh,
So you're actually creating more mitochondria.
that's amazing.
And then on the flip side, heat therapy like saunas, hot baths,
Yeah.
those can improve circulation and boost mitochondrial efficiency.
So it's like giving them a wake-up call.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm into that.
It's cool stuff.
It is really cool.
Yeah, so we've talked about diet, we've talked about lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
but I know a lot of people are curious about supplements.
Yeah, supplements.
Yeah.
Like, are there supplements that can give our mitochondria an extra boost?
Right, and that's what we'll talk about next. But
Okay.
it's important to remember that supplements should complement a healthy lifestyle.
Right, not replace it.
Exactly. They're not magic bullets.
Okay, so which supplements are we talking about?
Okay, so the source mentions a few that have shown some promise in supporting mitochondrial health.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, so one that's been getting a lot of attention is NAD plus precursors,
NAD plus precursors.
like NMN and NR.
I've heard of those, but I don't really know what they do.
Okay, so NAD plus stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide.
Okay.
It's a mouthful, I know.
Yeah.
But it's a coenzyme that's crucial for cellular energy production and repair.
Okay.
And it plays a key role in a lot of different metabolic processes, including those within our mitochondria.
So NAD plus is important for our cells to function properly.
Exactly. And as we age, our NAD plus levels naturally decline.
Okay.
And this decline can contribute to all sorts of age-related issues, including mitochondrial dysfunction.
Gotcha. So supplementing with NAD plus precursors is basically like giving our cells a boost.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What else is there?
Another supplement that's worth mentioning is resveratrol.
Resveratrol.
You might have heard of it.
Yeah. Isn't that in red wine?
It is, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So how does that connect to mitochondria?
So resveratrol activates sirtuins, which are a group of proteins that are involved in regulating cellular health and longevity,
Okay.
including mitochondrial function.
So sirtuins are like the guardians of our cells.
Yeah, you could think of them that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're heavily influenced by lifestyle factors,
Okay.
which is why things like diet and exercise are so important for mitochondrial health.
So resveratrol helps activate these sirtuins, which then help our mitochondria.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then another supplement that's worth mentioning is PQQ, or mypyroquinone.
Okay. That's a mouthful.
It is.
What does that one do?
So PQQ has been shown to stimulate mitochondrial growth
Okay.
and protect against oxidative stress.
Oxidative stress. That sounds bad.
It can be, yeah. It's basically damage to our cells caused by free radicals.
Free radicals.
Okay. So you could think of it like this.
Okay.
Your cells are constantly being bombarded by these little arrows.
Arrows.
Yeah, and those arrows represent free radicals,
Okay.
which are unstable molecules that can damage our cells and contribute to aging and disease.
Gotcha. So oxidative stress is like those arrows causing damage.
Right.
And antioxidants are like shields to protect our cells.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and PQQ is a really powerful antioxidant.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got NAD plus precursors, resveratrol, PQQ.
Right.
Are there any others we should know about?
The source also mentions acetyl L-carnitine,
Okay.
which plays a role in transporting fatty acids into the mitochondria,
Okay.
where they can be used for energy production.
So it's like a shuttle service.
It is like a shuttle service for fuel.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So those are a few of the key supplements.
Okay.
But again, I just want to emphasize that it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor
Right.
before starting any new supplement regimen,
Good advice.
especially if you have any underlying health conditions or are taking medications.
Okay, so we've covered a lot today.
We have.
Diet, lifestyle hacks, supplements.
Yeah,
We have a lot of control over our mitochondrial health.
we do. It's pretty amazing.
It is. So what's the main takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that taking care of our mitochondria is an investment
Okay.
in our overall health and longevity.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and by making choices that support those little powerhouses, we can boost our energy, improve our resilience, and maybe even slow down the aging process.
I like that it's like we have the power to upgrade our cells.
Yeah, exactly.
So where should our listeners start? What's like one actionable step they can take today?
That's a great question.
It is a good one.
If I had to pick one thing
Okay.
I'd say start with your diet.
Okay.
Just focus on incorporating those mitochondrial boosting foods that we talked about,
Okay.
like the healthy fats, protein complex carbs,
Yeah.
and all those superstar nutrients.
Awesome.
Even small changes in your diet can make a big difference.
All right. Good advice. And for those who want to learn more, we'll be sure to link to the source material in the show notes.
Yes, definitely.
But before we wrap up, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Is there anything about mitochondrial health that's still like a mystery?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
The world of mitochondria is vast, and it's constantly evolving. One of the most fascinating areas of research right now is looking at how our lifestyle choices
Right.
impact not just our own health, but the health of future generations.
Whoa, that's mind-blowing.
It is pretty crazy to think about.
So, like, the choices we make today could affect the mitochondria of our children and grandchildren.
That's what the research is suggesting.
Wow, that's a powerful thought to end on.
It's a reminder that taking care of our mitochondria isn't just about us.
Right.
It's about the legacy we leave behind.
I love that. Okay, well, listeners, as you go about your day, remember those incredible little powerhouses.
Yes.
Working tirelessly inside every cell of your body.
They are.
And think about this.
Okay.
What choices can you make today to support your mitochondria and create a healthier, more vibrant future?
Good question.
For yourself and for generations to come.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, it really is wild to think about how our choices today could, like, reach into the future like that.
I know. It's pretty amazing.
It's like we're all connected through time or something.
Yeah, kinda.
You know, as we've been talking about all these different strategies, I've been feeling really empowered.
Yeah, me too.
Like, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the things that can impact our health.
Right.
But when we understand how mitochondria work
Yeah.
and the things we can do to support
It
them,
gives you a sense of control.
exactly, like, we can actually make a difference.
Yeah, you're not just a passive bystander.
Right.
You can actually take charge of your health.
And it's not just about us either.
Right.
It's about future generations, too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the basics of mitochondria to the latest research.
It's been a journey.
It has. I'm feeling really inspired.
Me too.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what's the one message you want our listeners to take away?
I think the most important thing to remember is that your mitochondria are not just static things.
Yep.
They're dynamic and adaptable,
Uh-huh.
and they respond to the choices you make every single day.
That's a good point. It's like we're in constant communication with ourselves.
Yeah. I like that analogy.
And they're listening to the messages we're sending
Exactly.
through our lifestyle choices.
Yeah. And by making choices that support mitochondrial health, you're not just investing in your own well-being.
No.
You're potentially shaping the health of future generations.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
Well said. And for our listeners who want to learn more,
Uh-huh.
we'll include links to all the sources and resources in the show notes.
Yes, definitely.
There's always more to discover.
Always.
And we encourage you to keep learning and asking questions.
For sure.
Knowledge is power when it comes to our health.
It really is.
And by understanding how our mitochondria work,
Yeah.
we can unlock the potential for a more energetic, vibrant, fulfilling life.
Absolutely. I love that.
So listeners, go forth. Nourish those powerhouses
Yes.
and embrace the energy that comes with it.
Awesome.
Until next time, stay curious and keep on learning.